Hey guys, Tbull here. Today we got a game in the Baltimore for you. I got Einstein in the pilot seat, Yamamoto, Dimitri Dewey, all about the AP performance on this build. If you don't have Einstein, go ahead and put Kincaid in your pilot seat. Very sluggish turret traverse on these American heavy cruisers. That's going to be the biggest obstacle to overcome with the commander build. Kincaid, you can put Ingenious on there, and that'll boost the performance overall. Here we got a game, Trident, capture the base mode game. Now this is going to be a good Baltimore game, and we're going to talk about what we're doing, adjusting the score for the absence of the win bonus. We would actually have the highest score in the match, over 3,000 XP, but we also want to be focusing on Red Destroyer player T Nasty 28. Gets just shy of a 9-kill game. He gets 8 kills, and more importantly, in my opinion, a double strike. Okay, that's something I don't ever recall ever doing. I know in the video yesterday, we almost got a double strike. We were just a little bit damage left on the remaining battleship that ended up burning down before we could finish him off with the double strike. But T Nasty 28 actually gets it here. You can see him there in the Fantastic on the roster screen. A lot to talk about here, though. Capture the base mode, perils of sailing too close to black holes, forward position, strategically important positions, pros and cons. So that's what we're going for here. You can see the island due north of us here, trying to make a beeline for it, but the presence of the Bagration and other ships that can shoot us, potentially in the broadside, causes us to turn around. But that's the island we're going to go for. You're going to see how we attempt to get it. Because we can't immediately get there safely, we angle away from the Bagration, and we're going to be slamming them with this deadly AP. That's why we're focusing on the AP shells in this ship line. Baltimore is particularly dangerous. Super heavy AP shells and the Bagration. Whenever these ships are broadside, doesn't really matter, battleship, cruiser, we're going to be wanting to hit them with AP. Only when the enemy is demonstrating a willingness and an ability to angle consistently over a course of several salvos will we then switch over to the HE, because we'll get more reliable damage, but it'll be much less damage. So anytime we're getting broadside shots, of course, we'll keep the AP loaded here. What are we talking about positioning black holes? You can see on the western side of the map here, the 3 ships over there, they move forward, I don't know, maybe a square at most from where they spawn, half square to a square to the north. And they're going to hang out there, and then they're going to wind up going back to the base, and then kind of huddling up there. That's going to allow the red team to push all the way down south, and then the guys that are huddling in the base are going to be getting shot from the west and from the north. And when you're getting shot from 90-degree angles like that, you by definition cannot angle, which, if you don't know what I mean by angling, that's when you're pointing directly away or towards the enemy. That's how you protect yourself. If you're getting shot in the sides, like you saw we were doing to the Bagration, when we slammed them for 47,000 damage in the course of about a minute and 15 seconds, that's why. Okay, if he's pointing directly away from us or directly at us, we can't do that type of damage reliably. We do abandon our position that we kind of fought to get in this strategically important forward island. That's because the Z-23 poking forward here, we do want to get into a position to shoot him as quickly as possible. Getting these destroyers killed is the goal of the game, and of course we're going to try and do that whenever we can do that reliably. He is within our radar range here, so if he does manage to get the smoke off, we will be able to continue to fire upon his position. But look at our angle. We pointed away from the ships to the north of us. Z-23, not a major gun threat, but the battleship to the north of us and potentially whatever ship's getting pinged right there. Looks like the Cleveland, that's more of an HE shooting ship. But if we get shot in the sides with AP from that, also problematic. So, we're off to a good start here. Z-23 is about to go down. We also killed one of their cruisers. Z-23 tosses off salvo of torps as his dying breath. But you saw there, the enemy Fantastic does get his first kill. And that's going to be kind of the trend of this game. So we're going to go back towards the island here. The closer we get to the island, that will prevent this battleship who's shot right now. You can see the shots coming in here. If we're right next to that island, he can't shoot at us. He won't be able to hit us. And we might even be able to drop spot depending on who's got a line of sight for us. So that's the goal. Once we can safely continue back north here, we're going to continue to do that. Continuing to try and shoot AP. And notice the Massachusetts on the enemy team scores the 2nd kill there. So unfortunately, the 9-kill game prevented from the get-go. I had to go back and watch this when I played it to figure out exactly when he was thwarted, but it was relatively early. Nevertheless, getting back to our position, we're going back to the island, and look at the western side of the map, you can see what we were talking about. The Fantasks scared those 3 ships away. 3 ships compared to versus a destroyer point blank range that has no smoke, no way to conceal itself. That should have been a very easy fight. They could have kicked the crap out of them if they didn't run. But now they're in the base, and red continues to push. They got 4 ships advancing that will achieve their western flank. And then they're going to continue to have these ships to the north, like the Massachusetts and whatever, shooting from the north. So all the guys in our base have effectively conceded the game at this point in time. It's kind of like employing a rope-a-dope strategy, but then forgetting to have the surprise counterattack later on. You're just kind of setting yourself up for failure. So clumping up is not a good strategy. It very rarely works. It only really works if the enemy pushes into you one at a time. But if they move kind of at the same pace and surround you and continue to get good shots, then you're going to get the crap kicked out of you. And you can see we're continuing to be up in the game. We're actually up a ship at this point in time. And we're doing pretty good. We got 58,000 damage, which is well over our own ship's HP. So we've kind of paid our way in terms of, being worthwhile on this game here. Fantastic does go ahead and nuke the Iowa, who's just sitting in the base. And he's just he's doing a lot of what we usually don't recommend, which is destroyers kind of getting behind the enemy spawn and just nuking the battleships. But he will be killing the destroyers while he's at it. And that plays a little bit more useful in capture the base because the end object, aka the base, is actually in the spawn where you've gone to. But again, had those guys stood their ground and pushed back against this Fantastic, I think the game would have turned out quite differently. Let's talk about the pros and cons of a forward position like this. You can see we don't have a lot of support. Our other nearest support ships, but then you wait, the battleships, cruisers, 2 squares to the south of us. So we're more or less isolated here. You can see, though, we've prevented these guys from effectively moving east to west. And even this Massachusetts, who's trying to push southward, because we're in this position, he's going to have to kill us first. Because if he turns sideways to us, which he's doing here, we're going to demonstrate the full power of this battle station to him. You can see there he's at about a 45-degree angle, get him for 6-7K there. And these juicy shots force him to re-angle towards us. Now that should give the guys to the south of us prime shots into his side. And you can see the damage that he's taken. And this is what we're talking about, creating these crossfires, getting multiple squares away from your team on the map at angles, right angles particularly. And then these ships cannot defend themselves. So he's forced to angle once more to the south, to the battleship that's shooting at him, and we're ripping him to shreds here. He's actually down to about 1,000, 2,000 health at the most there. He's going to pop the heel, and he's going to manage to stay alive. Teammates shooting right over him. You got to be zooming out every shot and then evaluating what the targets are available to you, checking their health, checking your own team's health. You can't just be focused on one target here, because this guy gets multiple shots off, gets thousands of damage, potentially at least, just because the team is not finishing him off here. If everybody remaining alive, the 4 ships that had shots at him all shot at him, of course he'd be dead. You can see now red is pushed in the base. There's the destroyer, the Fantastic, battleships behind them. Ideally, like the battleships in front of the destroyer, so the destroyer could cap, but the destroyer is hell-bent on getting his Kraken. He's currently at 4 kills. And there's the Kraken right there. And wait for it. I believe he gets a double. There it is right there. Another double on the Jean Bart. So good job killing 2 battleships, I believe, or whatever he killed there for his first double strike. That must be the second double strike, because we're down to just 2 ships remaining here. We're only at 115,000 damage here. Pop the radar to spot these ships. You can see the Massachusetts continues to live. Which is problematic. We get our own high caliber here, and now we're kind of forced to angle in against these ships. So we're continuing to shoot this Massachusetts with AP as long as he's broadside, and we're getting nice shots. He's shooting us with HE. It looks like that's the wrong shell, of course, even though we're trying to angle against him. We can't really angle against most battleships. Cleveland, though, we do point directly at him. That's in case he decides he wants to get AP involved. Those will ricochet off the hull. He's wisely continuing to shoot HE. We go ahead and are targeting his guns. Now we can use AP or HE in this case. HE might be slightly more reliable. I'm trying to maintain the possibility of a drive-by, but he's coming right for the ram here. He's trying to finish us off, and we go ahead and dodge that. That's going to prevent me from aiming as well as I should have been doing there. We should have just pointed the guns sideways as we go behind him, or go alongside him rather. We do get the back gun off, and then we're going to turn hard in there. And luckily for us, he turns the same way. He's attempting to show us the broadside. Now we have enhanced penetration there, but 6 skips, 3 pens there. So if he would have waited for just a couple more seconds, we would have actually gotten the kill shot there. We're getting a little bit of secondary damage coming in. Could have gotten another main gun shot from him as well, due to the misplay on that drive-by. But nevertheless, we're still alive. Game's not looking great. We're only down 2 ships though, but they got 3 battleships and they're all sporting robust health profiles, whereas our remaining ship is now dead, and all they have to do really is sit on the base, and we don't really have any chance to win this game at this point in time. But these guys are going to continue to go for the damage, and this is how I would recommend playing games that you've lost like this. Like, if you can't tell that we've lost this game, keep watching the channel. We talk about strategy, and you should be able to read this game situation and say we got a less than 1% chance of winning this game. I don't think I've ever won a game where we've been down this bad, but maybe it happens once in a blue moon. Anyway, Fantastic making a beeline for us. He wants the 8th kill. I don't blame him there. I would never fault anyone for going for a super high achievement like that. And then the battleships are also going to get off, so that theoretically allows us to, get at least some more damage. And we don't really have enough time. If you saw the health pools on those ships, and you know how much damage we can deal per shot, even if they all just sit there perfectly broadside and we hit them perfectly, I still don't think with the reload on the ship that we could physically sink all these ships at this point in time. So key takeaways of this game: don't concede your spawn, don't concede sides of the map. This is what happens. You're going to lose 9 out of 10 of those games. And once again, the only time you're ever going to win those games is if they really misplay their push into you and they do it one by one, and then you're clumped up huddle of masses, your ships, they are able to engage in a numerical advantage against each of those ships pushing in. We're coming up here on a radar reload here, 15 seconds, 14 seconds. I'm thinking to myself, well, you know what? I would love to get that destroyer. Of course, killing destroyers, shooting destroyers worth more in terms of XP, credits, all that, than battleships. And we would like a little bit of a revenge factor for this Fantastic for running rush shot over us. So we do have the radar ready here. Go ahead and fire one more shot. And now, I believe in this moment here, the Fantastic is going to notice our health pool getting low, and he's like, oh, these guys are going to try and sink him. We want that kill. So he chimes in with the guns. We pop the radar there just kind of unnecessarily just to make sure. Fire away, and then boom. There he goes. We got him. We got a little bit of revenge. 175,000 damage so far. Note the rudder. We had just begun engaging our rudder to this direction right as the torps appeared on the screen. Those are widespreads. We're not going to give him the sound effect just because this is a pretty good game for us to watch. And it's a little bit of a tribute to his game, so we're not going to hit him with the Price is Right horn this time. And he does actually hit us with the widespreads anyway. So that's a look at the Baltimore for you guys. Hopefully you did enjoy it. If you did, please hit the thumbs up. New to the channel, consider subscribing. We've got lots of World of Warships, and it's coming all the time. Questions, comments, leave below. I'd love to hear from you guys, and we'll see y'all later. Peace.